Hey, good morning, everyone. It's October the 11th. I'm sorry, October the 11th, 2023. It's time to shake, rattle, and hum. So let's put our feet on the floor. Let's get us some coffee. I have some Black Rifle coffee right here in my South Dakota cup that was given to me by the Vinings, and I appreciate that. And so you get your coffee of your choice and flavor, get your Bible, and join us here in the next couple of minutes for a morning word. So let me see if I can get you guys dialed up here. Here we go. And rake it across. And here we go. Let's see who's here. Camellia and Brandy and Desiree and Buddy and Robin, Al, Tina. Good morning. How's everybody doing? Good morning. Hey, Tina, Gary Skipper, Jamie, Doug Jones, Elaine Dawsey. Good morning. Chris Miller. Hope everybody's doing well. Tanya. Good morning, Gail. Tim Hacker, good morning. Okay, so y'all get your coffee. We got about a minute and a half here. Hey, Daryl, Kathy Kelly, good morning. Hope every one of y'all are doing well. Miss Linda, Jim Pennington, what's going on? There the sweet Tess is. And Shay. That's what my nephews call Sherry Shaw. Brenda Mills, good morning. My man, Rob. Hey, Kim, good to see you. Yes, ma'am, that's my intention. Hey, Jana, Camellia, Nikki. Hey, Sharon. You too, Daryl, my brother. Josh Johnson, good morning, Josh. How you doing, buddy? Juliet, good morning. Hey, Heather. Good to see you this morning. Hope everyone's doing well. We're going to be in Genesis chapter 12. Genesis chapter 12. Hey, Diane and Candy. Good morning. Hey, Miss Francis. Mike Pate. What's happening, brother? And Rhonda. Good morning. Rhonda, is Bubba up? Tell him I said he's going to lose a crop. Let's go. Get with the program. Hey, Kim. Rise and shine, little darling. Hey, Nicole. It's another glorious Marine Corps morning, baby. Hit the ground running. Hey, Benita. Yes, ma'am, it is. Genesis 12. Good morning to you, David. Willie Williams, my man. Hey, Kim. Good to see you. All righty. We got about 30 seconds. Hey, Joe. Good to see you. All right, Rhonda, tell him. Let's go. Hit the flow. Hey, John Cameron. How you doing, buddy? We feeding birds today or killing birds, John? Mr. John. I don't know. Diane's always at the beach, Daryl. If she's not at the beach, she's either on her way or coming home. Hey, Talisa. All right, here we go. Cups up. Toast to the morning word crowd. God bless you and God bless America. Here we go. Shout out to our school teachers, our military personnel, our police officers and firefighters. Thank you for the work that you do. All right, here we go in Genesis chapter 12, verse 1. Now the Lord had said to Abram, get out of your country, from your family and from your father's house to a land that I will show you. I will make you a great nation. I will bless you and make your name great, and you shall be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and I will curse those who curses you, and in you all the families of the earth shall be blessed. So Abram departed as the Lord had spoken to him, and Lot went with him. And Abram was 75 years old when he departed from Haran. Then Abram took Sarai his wife, and Lot his brother's son, and all their possessions that they had gathered, and the people whom they had acquired in Haran, and they departed to go to the land of Canaan. Today's morning word is making sense out of current events. I had someone yesterday, a guy that I've been known for many, many years at the gym. He's a fellow believer, and he just came up to me. He goes, Randy, he said, when When did Israel when did the nation of Israel get the land of Palestine? Well, we just read it. It goes all the way back to Genesis chapter 12, that God gave them the land. Now, many people have occupied that land, to include the Jews themselves, over the years, and now the Jews are back in that land. Not the entirety of the land that God had given to them, but a lot of it. Now, as we see what's going on in current events, we see a group of people called Hamas. They are a terrorist group of Arabs in general, more specifically Palestinians. Their headquarters is on the western border, the Mediterranean border, in a place called Gaza, also known as the Gaza Strip, which in biblical times was known as Philistia. It's where the Philistines were from, if that rings a bell. And what happened over the years is, after Israel was dispossessed of the land by Rome in AD 70 and driven out from their land, General Titus, the Roman general, burned Jerusalem to the ground, took apart burned and took apart stone by stone the temple. And the Jews were scattered to the four corners of the earth. That area became known as Palestine. Palestine. The Romans called it Palestinia. It was an important piece of property because it was a land bridge between Europe and Asia. And so there was through history, there were many confrontations and people who wanted to possess that land. Now, the last ones that you need to probably be familiar with, well, first of all, let me say this. So you know here that God blessed Abram and formed the Jewish nation, all right, the Hebrews. And Abraham, God promised Abraham the land, and to form from him a nation, and through them that all the world would be blessed. Not only the Jewish people, but through the Jewish people came our Jewish Messiah. Make no mistake, Jesus is Jewish. So Abraham set out, he didn't have a son, he set out to try to have a son on his own at his wife's, Sarah's recommendation, and he slept with Sarah's handmaiden, Hagar, who was an Egyptian, and they had Ishmael, okay? But God told Abraham that Ishmael was not the son of promise. God would bless Ishmael simply because he was a son of Abraham, and from Ishmael came 12 tribes. Now, Ishmael, in general, is known as the father of all the Arabs. But it's not Ishmael alone. It also came through some of the descendants of Esau, and subsequently, after Sarah died and Abraham joined to Keturah, she had sons, and some of the sons of Keturah formed some of the tribes of the Arabs. The Arabs have many tribes, but the word Arab simply means nomads, nomadic. And eventually the Arab nations formed, but this area of Palestine had some Arab tent dwellers. That's what they were, nomadic tribes, along with some Jewish people. And they were under the control of the Ottoman Empire from 1517 to 1917, during which, that time frame, the Ottoman Empire, just remember the primary nation of the Ottoman Empire was Turkey, and then it goes down Greece, Bulgaria, and so forth and so on. So during World War I, at the height of World War I, Britain was fighting a war on two fronts, Britain and France, fighting a war on two fronts. And they were trying to gain the favor of their allies and the Jews that were dispersed around the world by signing an edict. It was called the Balfour Declaration. The Balfour Declaration. Lord Balfour, representing, and one of the Rothschilds, Jewish, they wrote up the Balfour Declaration. And basically what it says was that the land of Palestine, it's a big, huge place, not just a little area known as Israel now, that the area of Palestine would be given to the Jews for a homeland. Okay? Be given to the Jews for a homeland. Now, a lot of the nomadic Arabs got mad about that because they were afraid that advance forward, even though the Balfour Declaration was signed in 1917, Israel did not become a nation until 1948. But it had a Zionist, that's the Jewish government. It had a Zionist government representation in Britain. And in 1948, as the Balfour Declaration was getting ready to expire, David Ben-Gurion, who was part of the Zionist government representation in Europe, on May 14th, 1948, declared that Israel was going to be a new state and self-governed in the area of Palestine given to them by Britain. So May 14th, 1948, Israel became a nation. Well, the nomadic tribes of the Arabs there tried to flee into the surrounding Arab countries that had formed, and they were not welcomed there, but resisted. And those Arabs that had no homeland and who had to stay in Palestine became known as Palestinians. Now, they felt threatened, by the Jews who were forming a nation, because all the way back to the beginning with Ishmael, Esau, and the sons of Keturah, they have all been at war with each other. God told Abraham that Ishmael, which is the father of the Arab nations, formerly known and generally known, although there are some subgroups, God told Abraham that he would be a wild man, that is Ishmael, and that his hand would be against his brothers, meaning not only his half-brother, the Jews who came through Isaac, but also his own fellow brothers, So you have a warring tribe of people who have settled in nations around Israel, and now a group of them who were not assimilated into Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Lebanon, Syria. They weren't absorbed by them. They made them stay. They would not let them come across their borders. So they remained, quote, refugees in a land that is now formally Israel. So they refer to themselves as the Palestinian, that is Arabs who live in ancient Palestine, refugees. Now, within Israel, the places where they have been designated to live is Gaza, the West Bank, or what they want the West Bank. The three areas of contention are Gaza, the West Bank, and the Golan Heights. The Golan Heights is north of Galilee. It sits on the border of Syria, and it's the place of military strength, where Israel is able to keep watch on its northern borders with Syria and Lebanon. Now that's important because in Lebanon is another terrorist group that really runs the government. It's not the government, but it runs the government and is funded by Iran, and they're called Hezbollah, and they are armed to the teeth. We talked about that yesterday. Inside Syria, Okay, you have the trying to think of it. There's another terrorist group. Of course, Iran is there as well. I can't think of the name right now. But there's 3 terrorist groups surrounded by the surrounding Israel right now. Now, what's happening today? What's happening today is that the Arabs in general, that's all the world of Arabs, and Muslims, all the Muslims, which are Arabs are 99.9% Muslim, and Iran. Now, the nuance of Iran is that Iran is a Shia or Shiite branch of Islam. Saudi Arabia and Jordan and all of those places, they're Sunni. So within Islam, there is a war or a struggle. That's why Saudi Arabia is always at war with Iran and vice versa. Now, the thinking is that this uprising that happened yesterday or day before occurred to interrupt talks that Saudi Arabia was having to normalize relationships with Israel. It was the 50th anniversary of the 1973 war that the Palestinians had with Israel. And it was on the Sabbath, and it was at the conclusion of the Feast of Tabernacles. All of those things come into play. So this movement was made. Now, Iran would not yet, they will, but they are not yet bold enough to declare all-out war against Israel and try to annihilate them, because they know that would bring upon itself a World War III, in which the United States and everybody else will get involved. So what they're doing is they're using their proxies, these terrorist groups, to prod one another to fight Israel. And so yesterday, day before yesterday, all of the attacks came out of Gaza from the Palestinians, that is the Arabs that live in ancient Palestine, okay, and that are refugees and have not been taken into the other Arab countries. They are the ones who launched the attack. Since then, some rockets have come out of Lebanon. Though that area in biblical days was known as the nations of Tyre, Tyre, and Sidon. Okay, and then we had a skirmish and attack where the Iranian proxies in Syria knocked out or assaulted the Jews on the northern border, and the Jews went into Syria, which they've been doing to prevent Iran from getting too much of a stronghold in there. So now what we have is a multi-front war going on. Israel is being assaulted, okay, from their western border and from their northern border. Now, what we hope doesn't occur is that the Jordanians to the east doesn't get in it. Now, the Jordanians became part of the Abrahamic Accords. President Trump negotiated those peace agreements, and that Saudi Arabia, they haven't partaken of it so much so yet, but Egypt and Jordan are part of the Abrahamic Accords, and as such are not actively hostile towards Israel. But they form the eastern and the southern borders, okay, of Israel. What we hope doesn't happen is that the Abraham Accords fall apart and that Israel is attacked from the west, the east, the south, and the north. What you're looking at here now is an inner ring of fire around the nation of Israel. Gaza, Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, and Egypt. As of right now, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, and Egypt are not involved. It's coming out of Syria and Lebanon and Gaza to the east and to the west and to the north. So that's what's going on. Palestinians, that's not their land. It was given to them right here, given to Israel right here by God. And they are Arabs. They're Muslim. And the Muslim world, as I said, has a warring faction. And the only time that they will stop fighting each other is to fight a Jew. You can have a Shia Muslim and a Sunni Muslim cutting each other's throat, and a Jew walk by and they'll jump on him. So what we want to see here is, what you're seeing here is all of this being played out. The Arabs are a wild bunch, as prophesied by God through the sons of Ishmael. He'd be a wild man. So that's kind of where we are right now. The land was given to the Jews legally by God in Genesis 12, then again legally by Britain in 1917 and taken possession of in 1948. Immediately, they went to war in 1948 with the Arabs there. Then in 1967, they were attacked again by these very groups in the 6-Day War, again in 1973, and again day before yesterday. There's your history lesson. Making sense of current events. Pray for Israel. We'll see you tomorrow, good Lord willing, and the saints don't rise.